All right, welcome back to the Run.down post-game show over here on the Strickland YouTube channel and the Strickland Podcast Network. I'm your host, Samuel. I got with me Tyrese, aka London's Theory. Over here, the Knicks win 104-102, thanks to a steal at the buzzer by Alec Burks. Um, this game was, I said on Twitter, this game was meh. First, the game starts out, it's looking pretty good for the Knicks. Turns into a blowout within like the early minutes of the second quarter, thanks to our young guys lineup featuring Obi, Deuce, Sims, IQ, and then you had RJ that started the second quarter, and they kind of just like put their foots on the neck of Detroit, and thought it was gonna be a nice, easygoing post game. That we were gonna be able to talk about how well the kids played, how they carried us down the stretch of another awesome victory. Things changed throughout the course of the game in the second quarter and into the third quarter, and then we had ourselves a close game with Marvin Bagley deciding to sun Julius Randle today. Then you had some spot appearances by Braxton Key, of all people, who gave them solid minutes off the bench. I mean, this game was just very meh. Like I said, there's not much to really take away from this. Not much to really care about from this. Like, the Knicks continue to win meaningless games at the end of the season. So there's that. So
I don't really care about the meaningless games at the end of the season because, like, again, I have full confidence in the front office. But yeah, like Frank Jackson and Braxton Key were cutting into the lead, and I was just like, all right, man, all right, man. But yeah, this really head scratching. It felt like a matinee game. That's the best way to put it. Just like it felt like a game that was played at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Just kind
yeah,
of suspect, kind of lethargic. A lot of like not a lot of missed rotations, a lot of like head scratching plays, a lot of things that could have been done better. But ultimately, they won. So meh.
yeah. I will say that quickly is continuing to be the lone bright spot in all of these games, no matter win or loss. Another solid performance from him today. Took 15 shots, but who
Yeah,
cares? You like to
I
get the
mean,
reps out there. So
18 points, 15 shots, 4 threes. Can't really complain.
yeah. Again, brought a lot of energy to the Knicks lineups out there. Was the highest plus minus again. So
Shocker.
it's a shame that we can't run more offense through him because he's not a
Yeah,
traditional point guard or
yeah. Like
whatever.
the late game offense was just like it got salvaged and like they hit shots, but like it was just bad. Like I don't know why RJ's decided to like call off, take ISOs, and like dribble on the baseline. I don't know why Julius is like not watching the shot clock. Like the only good plays at the end were like the Burks ATO, where like they swung it around, hit Burks in the corner, put us up 4, and even then it was just like the fact that it got there was like it shouldn't have got there. To me, it just felt like I don't know why we don't like quickly just make more plays in the half court down the stretch, especially because like he seems to be our most reliable ball handler right now. Like he doesn't really make mistakes. Like he had 3 turnovers today, but a lot of those were just like really bad entry passes that like were fumbled. I don't think he really made bad decisions today. I don't think he really like did anything that was poor. He just had a solid all around game, and I feel like in that moment you like empower your young people, but Tibbs will never empower young people on this team. So I'm not getting my hopes up.
Yeah, I mean, I think Zach here encapsulates what all of us were thinking. If the Heat game didn't make it obvious enough, it's time to embrace the youth movement. But can't do that because we're not coaches or
Because
whatever.
big money AB came through. Big money AB.
I mean, yeah. Deuce had Deuce had a scary moment where it looked like his ankle basically like almost came off, but
Yeah. Put on a knee
he
brace or
was good.
something. I think he
Yeah,
had
he was good. How many minutes did he play tonight?
16 minutes, but he was scoreless.
I mean, I'll take the minutes over anything else at this point.
Yeah,
So
I'm not looking for offense reduced right now. That'll come. Like I'm not worried about the offense. The defense was great though, so not really complaining from him. Obi had another strong game as well, 10 points and 6 shots. Didn't hit his threes, but he hit all of his twos. A great reverse dunk as well. Couple assists, steal, block. Like, just solid all-around game from Obi once again. He's ascending, which is nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much really else to talk about from this game. I mean, there's not the glaring elephant. I mean, the most obvious elephant is, of course, Julius made his return to the lineup today, and it was not the prettiest of games once again. I really thought they were just going to sit him for the rest of the year, and I really didn't see a point in bringing him back. I mean, especially after the last game, it just was like, okay, your young guys, they showed you that they can like carry the load offensively and defensively. It's like, why try to shoehorn Julius into these meaningless games, especially a meaningless game against the Pistons on a Sunday afternoon? It's just like, bro, like, why?
You could help him out for at least Chicago. If you brought back for Chicago, I'd understand.
Yeah,
It just felt like his timing was off today. Like bringing back somebody for a matinee just feels like a recipe for disaster, and his timing was just off today. Like he missed 4 free throws. Like he wasn't in his natural flow today. Down the stretch, he was better because like he hit the 3 that was like big to like kind of stabilize the lead, and the assist steal on Burks in the corner. So like he had some good plays, but at the same time, it's like I don't know why he played today, but
I don't know why he's gonna play for any of the Rams the rest of the year. It's just like our season is already decided at this point. It's like they're trying to like shoehorn like some type of like, I don't know.
I mean,
It's just,
I think realistically, probably see him as like a piece for the future for next year at minimum. And next year, I think he's gonna be in the team. I've said that. So you still want him like getting these reps with like RJ being more of like a focal point of scoring, and you want him in situations where he has to like make decisions. And I don't agree with that right now, but at the same time, I can't really dismiss it. I think to me, it just kind of feels like why play him now?
yeah,
But
it's like
if you're playing him in like the right lineups where he gets to play more 5, and he gets to play like with wings around him instead of just like next to Mitch or Sims at all points of the time, and he basically has to be he's taxed with like running late game offense. It just feels like unproductive reps. It feels like a waste of time, but I don't know. I think Tibbs just wants to play with Randall, and Randall's like, well, I'll play. Because like at the end of the day, like Randall likes to play, so I can't get mad at Randall for playing.
yeah, I mean, I think we do need to besides the game, there's been some interesting debacles on Twitter regarding that kind of came about after the game against
He
the Heat. I do want to read one tweet. I will not say by who.
where are we
let me
talking
just
about the Tibbs fucking ether, where he's like Nick Twitter don't know shit.
Yeah, I mean there was that. There was that. He did
Ah,
come at Nick's Twitter. He doesn't know anything if he's coming at Nick's Twitter, especially because like he's obviously not checking up on Ario's threads or Benji's threads or Jeff's threads. Like
he was on the
Nick's
other half of
Twitter,
Nick's Twitter.
yeah, he was on the other side of Nick's Twitter. But I do want to address this tweet that said, let me say this: if Thibs played the kids a lot early in the season and they weren't ready, that can set you back years.
What the?
Just maybe he knows a little more than just a few of y'all.
What? Wait, what?
That was a tweet that was tweeted out yesterday
I don't
after
know.
I guess a lot of people were saying that. I think it came out after the Thibs quote, and a lot of people had retaliation to that quote, rightfully so.
What the?
But I quote tweeted it, and I was like, I mean, like saying set you back years is like definitely an insane stretch, because I don't think that if you are playing your young players appropriate reps to begin the season, that it will derail them so much that they won't be able to come back from this in the future.
The season was over in December. The fuck are we doing? Oh, it's gonna set us back years. Oh no, we're so bad that we get a better pick. And if they're good, oh fucking no, you have better players than the best on your team. Where is it gonna set us back years? Apparently, like how does it set us back years to play young talent? especially with the older talent is struggling, and the young talent has been winning you games. It's not like we didn't know they could win us games. Not like we didn't know Quickly was good. Not like we didn't know Grimes was good. Like McBride has been killing it in the G League, and like what have you been getting from guys like Kemba Walker and Nerlens Noel? Like Alec Burks has been solid, but even still, like him being solid isn't enough to like not play these guys. I don't
Yeah.
understand the logic.
Yeah, and I said, God forbid our young players take a couple of weeks to adjust to the NBA play. Oh my gosh. It's like what did you think the aspirations for this team was heading into the season for you to think that playing the young talent would set the team back or the players back years? I mean, are we not seeing what other young teams are doing across the league? I mean, Memphis is the prime example of just like letting your young guys just like play and develop without too much of a leash to the point where it's a detriment. And like, look at them now, and they're like in with their main cores, like second or third year together, they're already a top team in the West and like making some serious noise. So it's like, why can't that be the Knicks with their collection of young talent if we just let them grow? And
What the? Okay, I don't think we'll be Memphis, and like Memphis is like a rare case of just like you have like really really high role level players, and like that's cool, sure, but like again, the season was over in December. Like we were below 500 in December, and Kemba got benched twice. Like Nerlens Noel hasn't played since what, the Lakers game, if that, and that was like in February.
I don't even remember the last time he played, honestly.
Exactly. Like what was it going to set us back years? Apparently, I don't know what sets us back years, especially if you think the foundation of the team is like RJ and Quick. Like I think you could say confidently those guys are like pieces of the team that are like significant moving forward. And then you have your guys inside like Grimes and Mitchell, whatever. But like giving Quick more reps and giving RJ more reps is never going to be a bad thing, especially if he's surrounded by talent who at the bare minimum can shoot, defend, and dribble. Like at no point was it going to set us back years. That just seems like being really facetious and really, really like you're kind of shaboinging.
Yeah, shaboinging hard. And I mean, I've seen a lot of that for Thibs lately. And it's like people they are like scared to criticize an NBA coach. And I don't understand that mentality, because it's like, yeah, sure, they're a coach in the NBA, the highest level of professional basketball in the world or whatever, but like they're not without faults. Like a ton of them make a ton of mistakes. Like even Budenholzer, who won a championship, he had his faults throughout that run that he was getting constantly criticized for. And like, it's okay to criticize coaches, like even the ones that win championships, because they all have flaws, they all have mistakes, and it's like none of these guys are perfect, especially Thibs. Thibs has a ton of flaws, and he showcased them on a grand scale this year. And
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. Like Budenholzer won because Giannis is fucking incredible. Like they did not win that series because Giannis was out coaching people. Sorry, Budenholzer was out coaching people, and the strategies that they had were like cutting edge, and like nobody could predict them. It was just like Giannis was the best player in the league, played like the best player in the league, and they had no answer for the best player in the league. Like Budenholzer literally was losing them games. He got outcoached in the Nets series. The Nets series was garbage from Budenholzer.
Yeah, it was an absolute terror.
Like Chris Middleton,
he didn't want to play Bobby minutes at the 5. Like, wasn't Bobby benched for like most of that series?
Yes.
Like that was insane.
He was playing Robin Lopez.
Like Bobby was like arguably like one of their like most important players during that whole run, and he didn't see time until the next series against the Hawks.
Yeah, and it took injury.
Yeah.
Like the idea that like coaches are inflammable. Like I saw it last night where people were like, the Knicks beat the Heat. Oh, Tibbs is not the problem. Like Tibbs is the problem. It's like the fact that it took Tibbs like a bunch of injuries and like the front office basically going play Jericho because that's kind of what they did. Because if it was up to Tibbs, he would be playing Tosh. Like the fact that it took, the fact that it took like front office prodding and injuries to like get him to that point is an indictment on Tibbs. Like Tibbs, it should not have taken like 60 games for Tibbs to go, oh, I should play my young players more. Especially when they're helping you win games. It should not take Tibbs. Like, Tibbs still does not run small sets. Tibbs is still, like, reliant on rim protection in order to, like, for his defense. He's not like he's rigid as hell, and the fact that like Julius Randle was able to mask a lot of these issues last year because again he felt like a top 10 player in the league. Again, is an indictment on Tibbs because now when he doesn't have Randle playing like he's fucking LeBron, now he looks a lot more regular.
Yep, I mean, yeah, but Hawkeye 420 says the Thibs water carriers are so happy Burks got that block. Oh yeah, they're probably running victory laps right now, saying, "Oh, you see, this is why he plays Burks at the end of games. You know, you never know what you're gonna get from Burks."
And like that shouldn't be the case. Like I like Burks. Burks is a good player, constant pro. But like at this point in the season, do you like if you want to play Burks for like spot minutes? Sure, whatever. Somebody's injured, all right, cool. I think Burks would be cool with that too. Like
Burks is mad show. Like he just doesn't care. Like he's just hooping to hoop. Like
bro, he doesn't even do interviews. Like he will drop 30. I remember like he dropped 30 in the other win against Detroit earlier in the season, and he was just like, I ain't doing no interview. I'm just chilling. Burks does not care.
Like even the post game interview today was just like he was just like so mad about it. He was like, you know, we run that play in practice, and you know, we just execute it out here, and it's like he's just so chill.
First, like you told Burks right now, yeah, bro, you could just chill on the bench, you get your paycheck, whatever, bro. Just
he's like, I bet I'll pull up in my Nike Tech, just chill, watch the game.
Exactly.
Can get some Gatorade, you know.
Exactly, church shoes on and everything. Side note, them shoes he's wearing, bro, not it.
Them pink and neon black joints.
Them half and half shoes, bro. I don't know what he on.
Well, it's better than the joints he was wearing last year. I don't know what that brand was last year. It was like he was wearing like all black 2K generics for like the whole year.
The most part the Red Seas 8s. Like those shits were bro, I don't know what he was wearing, but he was hooping in them. He gotta get them joints back. But like
yeah, he has to go back to those shoes because like those is the ones that had us calling him Alec Iverson, King of the Fourth Quarter, all that good stuff. He need to go back to them shoes.
He changed some shoes up. He started wearing like regular shoes, and now he hooping like he fucking lost his powers, like he's in the Monstars. Like that was his problem. But regardless, what is this idea that like Tibbs is inflappable and like the roster is letting Tibbs down? Like Tibbs is letting the roster down. The players on this team can play. Like I don't think anybody's just like denying that at this point. You can't be like, oh, young core, I love this young core. This young core is so talented. Play the kids and then go, well, you know, Tibbs, like, he couldn't trust the kids, man. He got to go on Alec Burks because Miles Brown went 0 for 6 today. Like, you can't do it. Can't play him. And it's like, pick a side. Either Tibbs is, like, working with a shit roster or the kids are good and, like, they should be built around. You have to pick a side. You can't say both are true because like, at that point, it's a contradiction.
Yeah, people they don't know what they want. And, you know, a lot of these older people no, let me not. Let me chill.
You're 35 and over, we looking at you. If you got the Yankees fitted on halfway with your head tilted down like it's fucking 2014 on Facebook, we looking at you.
What you call it? How about Emmanuel Quickly? I mean, yeah, we talked about Quickly when we first kind of opened up on this game. Had a pretty good game. I mean, he's probably like the lone bright spot in this game, really. Honestly, besides like solid minutes from Obi, Deuce, and Jericho, nonetheless. But
Quickly is here, man. Quickly is here, man. Also, I gotta talk about this shit that I saw on Twitter this morning where people were like mad about like not drafting Desmond Bane. Bro,
what?
Bro, people are like, oh, you took Emmanuel Quickly over Desmond Bane. Bro, if you're complaining about hitting the 25th pick, you need to seek help. Bro, the 25th pick in the draft.
After the lotto, it's like a crapshoot, basically. And you're just
after top
like
5 is a crapshoot.
Yeah, it's like you're just happy to get a quality player at that stage in the game or at that stage in the draft. And the fact that we've hit in that spot and later multiple times is a testament. And I think you're referring to like the tweet that Schwinn put up about how this front office acquired how this many talent with the spots that they were in. And it's like, yeah, like people were saying, oh, these are a bunch of role players. And it's like, well, yeah, they're a bunch of role players, but like how often do you get that many quality role players that late in the draft? Usually that late in the draft, those guys are like in like Turkey after like their third year or something.
Like literally, like looking back at like 2017, like look at the first round picks, like the 8 spot where Obi was picked. So Frank, Marquise Chris, Stanley Johnson, Nick Staustis, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Terrence Ross, Brandon Knight, Al Farouk Amino.
Like sometimes you barely even hit in the lottery picks. The
Yeah,
fact that we've hit on late pick after late pick after late pick after late pick, and we hit on the 58th freaking pick, and
like
people are still criticizing this front office's drafting ability. I just don't get it.
like you have a role player at 58, which is like good value. He's not even like a standard NBA contract. He's on a 2-way right now, which means when you convert his contract, he'll be on the team for longer and he'll have more control. I don't understand this idea that like, oh, the Knicks fucked. Like, I don't think it was like the Knicks fucked up. They're just like, oh, these are role players, and it's like, okay, you got really solid role players, and Quickly, who's like a very high end role player. Like, I think Quickly at minimum is gonna be like a very high end role player, if not like a really solid starter. The way he's playing recently, like Quickly is playing at a level of, like Maxey and like those guys that people like talk about. Oh, why didn't we get? But
yeah, I mean, Quickly's still averaging like less than 27 minutes a game or something like that. Still, like it's just like those guys that we named, they're getting like 30 plus on their teams as starters. Imagine Quickly getting those type of minutes on a consistent basis with the way he's playing.
I think Quickly post All-Star break is still putting up like 25.
Posted per 36, right?
No. I'm talking about like minutes.
Oh, minutes? Yeah, it's like, bro.
He not even playing that much. That's the thing. Like, let me look at his splits real quick.
He's still producing a lot.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna look at his splits, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing less than 25 minutes, like post All-Star break, even on this stretch.
Yeah, I think I saw something on MSG that said he's playing like 26 point something minutes per game or something like that.
And it's like, bro, those guys are getting like 35. Like, you look at someone like Maxey. Maxey's getting 35 minutes a game.
Bro, I would cry if Emmanuel Cook was allowed to play 36 minutes a game. I would cry.
Bro, it would be
tears of joy.
I would like seriously, it literally would be like, holy shit, no way. Like, okay, he's playing 25.5 minutes post All-Star break. 25 minutes.
That's nuts.
Maxey is getting 35 minutes on average. Someone like Halliburton getting 35 minutes on average. Those guys are getting Desmond Bane starting. I'm gonna figure out how much Desmond Bane has like right now. Desmond Bane, like what? I think he was playing less than Quickly. No, he wasn't even playing less than Quickly last year because Quickly got sub 20 minutes. Last year, Desmond Bane playing 22. This year, he's playing 30. Like, I swear, if you got Quickly,
up to those guys' minutes load,
he would be producing at the level, and their per 36 like lines up with it.
Exactly. So it's like it's not even stuff that we're like pulling out of our ass. It's like the numbers say, like when he gets those type of minutes, like those guys do, he puts up the similar numbers. So it's not even like, so it's like these people that are like reaching for like straws at this point, or like just like complaining just to complain, or like just criticizing just to criticize. Like your criticisms are falling really flat, and like it's just like you're wasting breath. You're wasting your Twitter characters.
Literally, like at some point, people are like, "Oh, Cole Anthony. Why didn't we get Cole Anthony?" Like, bro, I like Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony's solid. If you put Quickly in Cole Anthony's shoes, they'd be the same fucking player. Like, probably, actually, no. I take that back. Quickly probably would be better. Like, I think Quickly probably would be better. Maybe not as a passer, but like everything else, especially like getting to the line and like manipulating defenses and putting pressure. Like, yeah. People are like really just underrating Quickly because like he doesn't get minutes. But like if he got the minutes those guys were getting, you would think of Quickly a lot more differently.
Yeah. And like that's all credit to Thibs. He's conditioned people to see Quickly in a certain light because he plays him in a certain role for a certain amount of time. And it's just like if you allow him to like just do his thing and shine, like people would see like the sky's the limit with Quickly too. And it's a shame that he's not able to be put in that same light as those guys. So
like post All-Star break, Quickly putting up like 65, like 15 points on like 65 true shooting, which is fucking insane. Like that's dumb. He's been one of the most efficient players in the league, playing like a mid-level amount of minutes because he's basically been forced to. And like the coaches aren't like Tom Thibodeau isn't helping him. Fucking like, and he's basically just like getting it by himself. Like the idea that Quickly is somehow like not on the level of these guys just because like you look at fucking raw field goal percentage or whatever, it's just like really stupid. I think you get Quickly a year. I give like, year 3 Quickly. I'll say no. Like year 3 Quickly is probably gonna be like a solid ass like 15 PPG on like 60 true shooting, which like people are fucking like fillet, like I shouldn't say that. Like people are like, oh my god, Halliburton. It's like Halliburton's a better passer, and aside from that, like that's kind of it. The defense is like a wash, and like he'll be slightly more efficient, but even then, like I think quickly could be just as efficient true shooting wise. I don't know, man. Like I think people are just really sleeping quickly, and people are like really not understanding how good he is just because like he's not a quote unquote point guard.
Brent says our late picks used to be Iggy Brazdakis. Son ain't in the league no more. Actually, he is. He's on the Magic bench, just being a cheerleader.
He'd be cooking though.
Be cooking in garbage time.
Didn't he cook like a few games ago?
I don't even know. Hawkeye for 20 says Benji brought it up. Is RJ's defense something we need to be worried about long term?
No.
Nah, I think it's just like he's just like getting accustomed to the new offensive load, so he's not really putting that much emphasis on the defensive side of the ball. Because like early in the year, we saw that he was playing a similar role to the way he was last year on offense, so he didn't have to exert that much energy in terms of like getting to the rim, manipulating defenses, all that good stuff. And he was like basically playing more of a spot up role still, so he could focus more of his attention on defense. And as the year has like waned on, I feel like he's had to do so much more on offense that like defensively he's just not really all the way there. And I think that's something that, you know, it's just gonna come with like the reps, and like it's the end of the year too. It's just like he's not really gonna still put on that much effort into defense this late in the year, especially with the offensive load that he has. So I think starting next year, you might see a little bit more balance on both ends, and his defense probably looks closer to better than it was.
Yeah, I would say like it's probably been the worst. It's been his 3 years in the league. Like it's been, like I wouldn't say it's been bad, but it's been like mediocre for his standards, especially like late in the game. The fact that Killian made it like a 1-point game was because like RJ kind of just missed his assignment. He was kind of off today as well. Like, I think he was like letting Sadiq Bey beat him. He let Cade Cunningham like he got a Cade Cunningham, and then Cade Cunningham went back at him with a floater. The defense has been kind of spotty. But ultimately, though, I think he'll be fine. I think like he has to balance it, and balancing it is part of like being a star, like especially a two-way star, where it's just like you have to balance offensive and defensive purposes, and like sometimes he might take a playoff or two, and that's fine. But like once he figures out the balance, I think he'll be fine.
And that's why you have to have much more appreciation for guys that are able to do both ends in the league at a high level. So like those guys like Kawhi, when Kawhi was playing and healthy, like you have that much more of an appreciation for what he did on both ends. Now you're seeing that your own player is trying to emulate that same type of style.
Yeah, like that was definitely a kind of humbling moment because you're just like, damn, RJ is like kind of fucking it up right now defensively when like that was kind of his thing. But the offense has gotten better. The free throws have gotten better as well. Like I think he went 7-8 from the free throw line as well, which is really encouraging.
Yeah, something that he's working on. And, you know, like I said, when it's something that or RJ puts his mind to like improving something, I really don't have no doubts about him trying to like really actually producing on that end. So I think like he'll see that the defense is not the way it used to be, and he'll put his mind to improving that. I mean, there's like 8 games left, so it's like
and you know what helps defense? Getting better defenders in your starting lineup.
Well, yeah, what the fuck like Alec Burks and Evan Fournier and Julius Randle not paying attention on defense will really like make your defense look that much more worse.
The thing is, I don't even think Burks is a bad defender. The problem is like he's being tasked regarding the point of attack, and it's like that's not his thing. Like, you have really good point of attack defenders on the bench,
just chilling.
Like I know Grimes wasn't playing today, but like Quickly is a really good point of attack defender. Hey. McBride is a really good point of attack defender, and like those guys. Peters? Oh, they coming back?
It's like a 20-point game now. They've been hitting like all their shots lately.
He said 20-point game. Stop it, bro.
Nah, like they've been hitting like they hit like what, like 6 of their last 7 or something like that.
Man, you got me excited. I was like, oh shit.
Nah, but they got like North Carolina calling timeouts on the inbounds and shit. So it's like
they down 20. They down 20. I thought you actually had me excited for a second. I was like,
nah, it's like 20 with like 11 minutes to go. That's pretty calm. Man. And we've seen USC fold under pressure before.
Cut it to 8, and then I'll like cut the stream.
Right,
be like,
we'll see.
They cut it to 8. I turned it off. I was like, damn, bro, they really gonna let me down.
I kept it on. Just in case, because like sometimes these games you never know. Like these teams they be choking, man. The pressure be getting to these little kids, man.
Yeah,
I'm saying little kids like they're not the same age as me.
yeah, I mean, like UNC did drop the lead to Baylor, so like I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, it's like they seen this pressure before, and they folded earlier in the regular season too to other teams. So
Then again,
I
the
just keep it on just in case.
script is in though, so I ain't putting it
Yeah,
past
the
them.
script is in. The script is in. We already know NCAA looking to rake in all that cash off the UNC Duke matchup. It's gonna be the first ever March Madness Duke versus UNC game in history. So they used. So they want that game to
Man,
happen.
they gonna manipulate the bracket and be like, oh, we moving UNC to this side of the bracket because there was a fire on the court and we gotta like postpone the game. They could come up with some shit. A Duke UNC final will have that will literally like make so much money. Like that shit would be rigged. But like Final Four Duke UNC, first matchup ever, Coach K's last season. The fix is in. We know the fix is in.
Yep. Mo says DeMar and Levine next game will be a good test for RJ. Yeah, I agree. But DeMar in this weather, you can never really be too trustworthy of what he's gonna bring you on that end. So
The Frozen don't scare me.
we'll see.
Man,
Zach came off a heater against the Pelicans. I don't know how. I think who they played recently. I forget who they played.
the Pelicans that they played like I think some other team. I don't know. But if we lose to the damn fucking Bulls, bro.
No, I don't care if we lose because like they're supposed to beat us. So like if we win, that's even more rich.
Nah, but like I get that, but at the same time, I need fucking tweets.
They just came off a game against the Cavs, and the Cavs almost came back against them. They were up by like almost like 30 against the Cavs, and the Cavs almost came back and beat them. So DeRozan with a 20-point game off 8 for 17 shooting, not too shabby. Zach LaVine 25 points last game, so it was a calm game from them. We'll see how they come out against us.
Probably stinkers.
Probably be a bit more motivated against us, maybe because like seeding. I don't know how much they care about seeding, but we'll see.
Better care about seeding. They fucking better care about seeding.
Well, yeah, they better care right now because like they right now they matched up against against the Bucks.
Oh, the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Giannis gonna have his way.
Giannis in the paint gonna crack their skulls.
He gonna slut them out. It could be nasty if you get oh my god. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. You can't put that on TV for kids. What Giannis would do to Vucevic in the fucking paint. Yeah. That's TVMA.
But yeah, let me see what else we got here in the comments. Sheen Holloway to New York Knicks. I am with that all the way, but he's gonna get that Seton Hall job, and they're gonna give him the big bucks for it. So
I respect it too.
I respect it. Yeah, that's his alma mater.
Yeah,
New
man.
Jersey, not too far from where he's already at. So.
Oh, not Berman pushing water now. This is nasty. Okay, what's the big with Berman like these last couple of weeks where he just like pushing propaganda? He's out here carrying water for Tibbs and like shitting on Leon in the front office, and
it's so weird.
Like I don't know what
it's like. Okay, maybe theory time. Tibbs is on his way out, and he's just giving Berman, all this shit to spew.
Maybe, but like I don't think like the Fisher report basically was like they're keeping Tom Thibodeau, and I don't see that.
And then since then, Tibbs has tanked himself by purposely losing games.
I think they've been
horrible lineups.
They've been like 8-4 in their last 12 since that report dropped. I'm pretty sure they've been like 8-4.
Yeah, since that report dropped, but like initially when that report dropped, that's when he was like doing all the weird lineup stuff where like he was taking out guys that are playing well, putting in guys that were like the Utah game happened. Not Utah game was immediately after the report had come out, but like it was close.
Yeah,
happened. Let's see what other comments we got here. DeMar, y'all whisper my accomplishments. This brother been all NBA player. Also, bruh, I don't care. DeMar in the regular season has never moved me, bruh. Playoffs, come see me about DeRozan. Come see me about DeRozan.
When DeRozan comes through in a playoff setting and isn't like the worst player on his team in a playoff setting, then DeRozan will like move me. But until then, DeRozan does not move me, and he should not move you.
Yeah. I don't know why people still move by certain players' regular season numbers.
February.
That's like telling me about like James Harden putting up like a 30-point game in the regular season. Like,
okay. Oh, James Harden got a 60-point triple double. Oh, he put up 36 points in the regular season, and then he got to the playoffs. Where he at? I can't see him. Tibbs or
uh,
Randall? Tibbs.
if you can get rid of one, who would you rather get rid of between
Tibbs.
Tibbs or Randall? See, okay, so here's the thing with me.
Tibbs.
Okay, if I am always fire Tibbs, but if you're gonna keep him like the front office is, you got to get rid of his one of his favorite toys.
The
One
problem
of his
is though,
favorite
like,
toys is Randall.
that's the problem. Like, I fucking hate that mindset because like Tibbs is so detrimental because like the idea that like Randall can't be a good player just baffles my mind. Like I've seen him be a good player. I've seen him work in like the bully ball setting. I've seen him work with the jump shooting. I think there's a good player in there, but we don't optimize him. Like look at the context he's been in the last 3 years offensively. Fizdale, Mike Miller, fucking Tom Thibodeau, and like his one good season was basically him having jump shooting season of his life. Now, do I think he could be that again? No, but do I think he could be better than this year? Yes. Like I think like he can't get any worse than he has been jump shooting this year.
I hear the optimization argument, but then I point to all the other stuff, defensive lapses, the offense, the way that he like the shots that he takes sometimes, the way he can take over an offense negatively, the way that he'll like argue with people like the refs after games and all that
Yeah.
other unnecessary nonsense, like all that stuff has compounded into a nasty snowball. And when you look at him as a whole in his time in New York here, it's been more negative than positive.
I mean, but like the positive was like resoundingly positive, which is kind of my argument. I think the thing is like if you could get him in a role where he could like get paint touches consistently instead of like having to play with a big in the paint 24/7, I think that's huge. Like his ability to just like, all right, I can rumble to the paint. I have more shooters on the outside corner. I can do more stuff with the ball in my hands and like make quicker decisions. I do think his mentality sucks this year, and like I can't absolve him of that. But I also think like the better he is offensively, the better he usually plays defensively. Like I've seen that a lot in games where like his offense is going, his defense is usually following suit. So I feel like you want to make his offense as good as possible because then you get like a decent enough defender. Are they coming back? Are they coming back? Or did they fucking...
Nah, I was looking at one of these comments here. Someone said Booker has 22 in the first quarter. I have him in a parlay for 40.
Well, he gonna fucking choke because you know how your parlays go. Thanks, fucking Sam. But yeah, like Tibbs hasn't optimized anybody on this roster this year.
Very true.
Nobody on this roster is like playing in the context they should be playing in.
But no one is also reacting in the same way.
Fair, but like he's also the one with the most pressure on his on the shoulders by far. And like I get the fact that he's crumbling, and I don't like that. But at the same time, it's like he's basically tasked. All right, you have to run the offense. Oh wait, you have to run the offense without fucking Burks and Evan Fournier being your backcourt. Also, you can't you have to jump shoot because you can't get to the paint the way you want to, and like the defense is worse around you. And I get like he contributes to part of that problem. But like I can't say like I know he has so much talent. He has so much talent that I'm not willing to give up on that so soon. Now next year, if he does this, cool. I'll eat my fucking shoot. Great. But like there is a world for me where like he can be the 2010-5 guy that's not from last year and not this year. And I feel like there's a healthy balance where he's like, okay, 35% shooter, 46% from the field, 80% of the free throw line. Could dribble, pass, shoot, not like the fulcrum of the offense, but Nick makes enough right decisions to the point where like he can flirt with an all-star team. Like his contract is basically like fringe all-star level, which is fair. Like I think the contract is fair. I think he's talented. I think his context really fucking sucks, and I think a lot of that has to do with Tibbs. And I feel like if you get rid of Tibbs and put him in better context, he's a better player.
I feel like their relationship is symbiotic. So,
Man, I don't think he likes Tibbs right now. I would not be surprised if he just like Tibbs kind of fucking. I wouldn't be surprised if he's just like, man, Tibbs is kind of getting on my bad side. Like he'll do the shit for the media, but like,
Hawkeye 420 says Press has been saying he didn't believe the report that Tibbs is staying. I think Berman knows Tibbs is gone, and that would make sense to why he's been putting out all this this nonsense. Like Tibbs is his guy, so it's like, why wouldn't he just like start to like put out all these nonsense like pot stirs? Like this is weird even for Berman.
I mean, but like we know Tibbs is Berman's source.
Yeah, so like
So like the
It makes
anti
sense.
front off, yeah, like the anti front office remarks, the anti RJ remarks, the
It makes
kind of
sense
like
if he's leaving to like start putting that stuff out there. So that way, when the big bombshell Mark Berman report comes out, these were all little teasers that Mark Berman was giving us.
I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. They should fire him though. They should fire him.
Yeah,
And like even if like I think there's a world where like you could like pump up Julius Randle, like pump up his value enough to the point where like you could maybe dump him if you need to. But like, I would sell him at the lowest point of his value. That makes no sense to me.
yeah. Right now, he is at his lowest value. So you
And
do have
again,
to.
he can't get worse. I don't think there's a world where he could be worse than this.
Do you want to challenge that?
Yes. Yeah,
You
I do
don't.
not think he could be
You
worse than this.
you don't want to poke a bear, man. I'm just saying you don't want to poke a bear. Like next thing you know, like next game, he just like I don't know, just like starts a fight with a fan or something.
I'm
Like,
talking like next season, like next season.
oh,
Like I don't
I
think
mean,
he's
we'll
gonna be
see.
this next season. Like I think he'll be medium, and I'll take a healthy medium.
Brent says, "Do y'all believe Randall can give positive defensive effort when in a minimized offensive role or when his shot is not going?" See, the thing for me is when his shot is not going, he like looks to force things way too much, and like he just looks uninterested on the other end at that point.
I think part of the reason why he has to force it because nobody else wants to force it. Like who in this like you see how much we pump fake. You see how much like our late game offense basically turns into like, oh shit, somebody save us. I think if you have like better creators on the roster, I feel like he makes less of bad decisions. I just feel like you have to get the ball out of his hands. Like you want the ball in his hands enough because like he can play make.
All
Like,
right,
the
but
dude
when
can
we do
fucking
get the
pass.
ball, and they do get the ball of his hands, but the problem is when they get the ball of his hands, it's in Alec Burks' hands, and that's the main
Exactly.
issue. It's
That's my
like
problem.
give like share more reps with IQ and RJ. RJ did get a few more reps today, but like he took like some ill-advised shots, especially that last one against Cade. The first one was okay because he had that like nice little spin move around him. But yeah, IQ didn't really get like a fair share of touches in the clutch, and I feel um
Yeah.
like you get IQ to set guys up more. And like that's why I said it's symbiotic between him and Thibs because Thibs has kind of conditioned the team to play a certain way late in
Problem is,
games because they've been doing it all year that same way.
I
So it's
can't
like
even get
trying
him.
to break the
Yeah.
mold in game like what 73 or whatever it is at this point is like
74.
yeah, trying to break the mold in game 74 is just not gonna happen. Like, and these are the habits that Thibs has built in this team that like is a part of the reason why I'm like fire Thibs and like see how the team rolls with a new coach next year. But I mean, we'll see. But yeah.
I also think part of it was also like RJ took some bad shots. RJ was taking a lot of ugly shots. Like especially like that shot, like in the turnaround shot in the paint.
And to me, I don't mind it with RJ
I mind
because
it.
it's
I
like
mind it.
it's
Absolutely.
like this is what we wanted. We wanted young guys taking more shots in the games because builds better reps. They get better habits if they learn from these moments. Because like at in the early year portions of the year, it was just like straight. Well, before Alec Burks, I think it was like what Kemba and Julius like dick around and they figure out like who's gonna take the shot, and most of the time it ends up being Julius. Bad shot because he end up getting doubled or whatever the case may be. But yeah, now it's like more of like Alec Burks and Julius Randle figure out what you're gonna do between each other. And but yeah, now it's good to see RJ get those shots, even if they are bad shots, because he'll
Yeah.
learn in the future like those are shots that you don't take. Like maybe
I'm,
someone will be open like IQ or Alec Burks or Mitch in the paint or whoever's in the paint or whatever it is. But yeah,
like, I'm fine with those shots now, but at the same time, you have to realize like they're bad shots right now. But he needs to take those bad shots. Like I'm
yeah,
cool with bad shots for development,
yeah,
but like at the same time though, you have to see like a lot of the offense bogs down and turns into like, all right, Julius, fucking bail us out because like you're the number one option and we need you to just like save us with like 3 seconds left on shot clock. And then Julius is like, man, I don't want to bail you guys out right now. And then he kind of like just kind of dicks around, and I hate that. But again, I feel like if there's better creators on the team and better ball handlers on the team, you could put him in a situation where he could basically be like, all right, I don't need to make this decision, or somebody else will make this decision for me. I would like to see him in that context where like he has an actual primary, and like RJ is like risen up to a level where he's like comparable. And now you have a situation where basically like those three guys can take those shots whenever they want to, and Julius is taking less of those shots.
yeah. Ricky Ricardo says, I don't know if it's symbiotic. Thibs has had far more success without Randall than Randall has had without Thibs. True, but I feel like it's symbiotic in the point of like, the, that's Thibs' favorite toy at this point, and like Randall doesn't mind getting all those touches, so like he's gonna continue to take all those shots when he gets the chance. And if you have a coach that doesn't enable Julius to take those shots and has more of a like I like to say this basketball by socialism type of basketball where there's a equal spread of shots. Everyone gets that's a term that bettors like to use because they hate when they bet on one guy and everyone has the same amount of shots, everyone has the same amount of assists. Basketball by socialism. So to steal that term, but yeah, if we had like that more, we had that type of approach more often, then I feel like then Randall wouldn't be so unable to take all the shots that he does. And that's why I feel like it's symbiotic because Thibs kind of he enables Julius to do those certain things and Julius doesn't mind, so it continues. And yeah, it
Again,
just
but
makes
like I think my pushback would be like we saw like I think you saw late in the game as well. Like Randall would just kick it out quickly and then quickly kick it back to Randall. And Randall's like, make the fucking play. Like, I definitely think he has moments in the game he's just like, all right, ball handler, make the play. I don't even want to be involved in play. Like, you could run a pick and roll with Mitch or whatever. You could throw it to the corner and like, I don't need to be involved in play. I've seen him do that. Like, we saw him do it a couple times in the game as well. I think the problem is really just like, we do not optimize people. And like our like shot creators are Alec Burks and Evan Fournier, and to a lesser extent like Quickly and RJ. And like RJ's not there as a shot creator. Fournier and Burks are like good shot creators, but you don't want them creating like late game offense for themselves as like number one or number two perimeter options. And again, like you need better shot creators, you need better like personnel. It really just feels like once you get like better ball handlers in that better ball handlers and better creators in that lineup, I feel like his decision making gets a lot easier and his process gets better. But like he's being overloaded with too much information and he doesn't have the shooting that he had from last year, which I think is a fair criticism to be like, all right, he can't run an offense the way we thought. Like he's not a point forward, but can he be like a playmaking hub if you need him to be? That's fine.
and I do agree with Ricky Ricardo. He says I just think this has poured way too much confidence into Randall. Yeah, I think he's still thinking that this is Randall from last year to a certain degree, and like that just needs to like not be the case because like I think everyone else has realized that this is not the case except for Dibs. Um, Hawkeye for 20 says, does this team shooting numbers this recent stretch seem sustainable to y'all? Can they be a better shooting team next year, especially with the two?
If they get better lineups on the floor, yes.
Yeah, it's all about like what lineups they put out there. I mean, we saw in the fourth quarter of the last game, Dibs pushed the right buttons, and look at that, the team had success and they won the game. Whoa, shocker! Don't see that much often in Knicks basketball this year. But yeah, I mean, it just all depends on like pushing the right buttons and like is Dibs gonna do that on a consistent basis? I don't think so
If
because
they can
like
get an offensive coordinator, they fucking need an offensive coordinator. At minimum next year, they need an offensive coordinator. If they can get that, then all right, I'll give it a shot with Tibbs. If Tibbs is running the offense next year, I don't care because I know what's going to happen because his defense is tied to his offense. And the defense like stresses having rim protection. And I know this team fucking sucks with like having a paint in the having a center in the paint 48 minutes out of 48 minutes. Give me like a 10 minute stretch a game where they could just like five out. You have the personnel for it, got the players for it, and the players want that. Just give me that and like we could talk. But until then, I have no faith.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Um Brent says has his decision making. I think that means Randall's decision making improved when RJ has improved his own creation. I don't think so. Whether it was bad RJ or good RJ, Julius hasn't significantly changed his approach, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. And I think it's like a result of like habits that the team has built throughout the year. And like I said early on in the year, I saw these habits, and I just did not think that it was gonna go over well with this team. And lo and behold, here we are late in the season. Team still has a lot of those habits still peering its head. So yeah.
That's fair. It's fair. Also, damn, Booker went to the bench and the fucking Sixers came back and like now they have the lead. Jesus,
Oh,
Book
it is a
MVP.
blowout Sunday in the NBA. Didn't start with the
Mm-hmm.
Knicks though. Did not start with the Knicks. Oh, it's a blowout Sunday in basketball in general because like looking at these March Madness
It
games,
should have been a blowout for the Knicks, but we. Uh, all right, man.
but I think that's all we got for today.
Yeah,
Um, it was a very boring Knicks game. Um,
not much to talk about.
not much to talk about. We did have a lot to talk about thanks to y'all comments. Thank you guys for commenting, giving y'all takes, questions, all that good stuff. We will be back tomorrow after the Bulls game. Hopefully, we can roast the Bulls after that game. But yeah, make sure you check everything in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe. Um, and yeah, we'll see if St. Peter's can make this comeback that they are desperately trying to make. Peace.